The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics provides a website called Illuminations, and in this website you can get millions of wonderful ideas for introducing topics to students, giving them hands-on activities. This particular one is titled, "What's So Special About Triangles Anyway?" And it's an activity where students cut out triangles and then move them about to create shapes. And so some questions that could be asked to a class is, what is a triangle? How can we classify triangles based on their sides? Classify based on their angles? And then if we use different quadrilaterals, how can we fold them or cut them to make triangles? So in this activity that I'm going to show you, let me get over to the larger copy. You have these shapes that are given. So this is a hexagon, and then you cut the hexagon in half, and then you cut the hexagon in thirds. This may not show up well on your video, but the cuts are here, and then you cut it into 6 parts, and then you use those to create different triangles. So you have the space that you can glue the shapes that you've cut out after you get the triangles made. So this would be a station that the students could go to. Another would be that you give them this that they cut out, and then they build different shapes. And so can you build one triangle with these? Can you build 2 triangles with these? Can you build other shapes? What can you build? So they build with them. Can you make a square with them? And then they glue them into shape in this space. So that's interesting because some students will get various shapes, and then they can share those with the class. Then there is, this is Thinkfinity. It's also a National Council of Teachers of Mathematics website that is free for students to go to, and so they can manipulate these shapes in the screen. I also want to share with you some introductory books that makes the activity fun, dealing with triangles. This is called The Greedy Triangle, and it's written by Marilyn Burns. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what the book is about. The triangle is a very special shape, and he feels strong, and actually the triangle is the strongest shape, and he can be all kinds of things. He can be a sailboat, a piece of pie. He can be a sandwich. He can be the roof on a house. He can be part of a bridge. And he can be a triangle, which is a musical instrument. But he gets bored with things that are triangular, and he wants to be something else. So he goes to the shape changer and asks the shape it's hard to say, shape changer to make him into a quadrilateral. And so he does. And for a period of time, he's very happy being a quadrilateral. So we look at all things that are quadrilateral, and then he gets bored with being a quadrilateral and asks the shape changer to make him into a pentagon. And so then we look at all kinds of shapes that are pentagonal, and the story goes on until he gets himself in such a shape that he is almost a circle. He has so many sides, he's circular, and that makes him fall or roll, and he decides he wants to be back a triangle. So this is nice, fun book to show where you see those various shapes in the real world. Another book that you can use is called A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein. I've shown you this one before when we were talking about estimation, but there is a poem called Shapes that I would like to read to you and then talk to you about how you might use this to let the students be creative. A square was sitting quietly outside his rectangular shack when a triangle came along, kerplunk, and struck him in the back. "I must go to the hospital," cried the wounded square. So a passing rolling circle picked him up and took him there. And so this is the diagram in the book. And so you could have students create their own diagram illustrating the circle and the triangle and the square and the predicament that they have gotten themselves into. So a way to incorporate a little art into the geometry classroom.